Okay, so as you guys already know, this is Water Week. And your assignment for this week is to break into groups and report on Santa Cruz water. Where does our water come from? How much do we use? And water in our daily lives. So for example, what are some ways that we use water in our daily lives?
Well, a couple examples could be how we use it for showers or how we run the dishwasher, and also we use water in gardens.
Okay, outside of our homes, what are some commercial uses?
I've heard that schools and hospitals use a lot of water.
So residential, commercial, this is Santa Cruz. What about tourism?
Well, I know that the boardwalk uses a fair amount, and restaurants too, and maybe hotels?
So I think you guys have a really good idea of how to do this. I've made arrangements for you with the water department and at the water treatment plant, so they'll be expecting you to come. You have until the end of the week to finish your assignments, and I say good luck and have fun with it.
Hey Natalie, it's me, David. I'm down here at Loch Lomond, and I'll be talking to the ranger in a few minutes, so I'll get back to you with the information I get.
Hi, welcome to Loch Lomond Recreation Area. Are you here to fish today?
No, I'm actually here doing a report for school on Santa Cruz water, and I was assigned to check out Loch Lomond.
I'd be happy to help.
So, I have a couple of questions for you. First off, how many gallons does Loch Lomond hold?
Loch Lomond Reservoir holds almost 3 billion gallons of water when it's filled to capacity.
How is the water transported to the treatment plant?
We have a series of gates. If you look out towards that dam there, there's a vertical column of gates, and depending on the water quality, they'll select one gate or the other. And it flows from here down to our Felton pump station. And from there, there's a pipeline that takes it all the way down to the Graham Hill treatment plant.
Does all the water in Santa Cruz come from Loch Lomond?
No, it doesn't. Loch Lomond Recreation Area only makes up about 25% of our water supply. The bulk of our water comes from the San Lorenzo River, that's 50%. And then we have some North Coast surface waters. And besides that, there's also some wells over in the Live Oak area, and those take up about 5% of our water supply.
So why do we need the reservoir if we have all these other different sources of water?
Well, Loch Lomond Recreation Area was designed to just be a supplemental water source. When the population of Santa Cruz was increasing in the 1950s, they recognized that they needed a place to store water. Prior to this, there was nowhere to store water. So under conditions of drought, or depending on the season, like now when we're running into late summer and early fall, and our rains haven't come yet, we hold water so that it's available for the city of Santa Cruz.
So how big is the lake?
Our lake is 2 miles in length, and then it's about a 1/4 mile at its widest point across. And it has an average depth of 100 feet. At its deepest, it's 150 feet. And again, that's when it's filled to capacity.
Is there anything particularly unique about this water supply?
Our water supply is unique in that all of our water is supplied locally. And what that means is that it's not pumped in from anywhere else. So basically, if it's not raining in your backyard and you know there's no water coming in, that's an indication of how much water we're getting.
So how do your duties here as a ranger affect the water supply?
Well, our primary duty here is to protect the water supply. And one of the ways we do that is we make sure that there's no fires. We'll check barbecue pits. And a fire would be devastating here because without the trees we would have erosion and all of that sediment would go into the water supply. So that's a real key feature of our job. And we also do a lot of litter pickup and cleanup. We patrol to make sure people aren't camping here illegally and to keep intruders out and make sure that our water supply stays clean, because this is the source. If this is clean, there's less for the treatment plant to have to do.
Well, thank you a lot for taking time out of your day to help me with this report.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad you came out to do your report, and I wish you all the best with it.
Hi, I'm Natalie and I'm from Santa Cruz High School and I'm here to do a school project on Santa Cruz City water. Would you mind answering some questions for me?
Hi Natalie, not at all. Welcome to the City of Santa Cruz Water Treatment Plant.
How do you transport the water from Loch Lomond to here to my home?
That's actually quite complicated. Why don't I show you how we do it? I can take you on a tour of the plant.
So on my way in, I noticed that you had some solar panels up on your roof. What are they for?
Right. It takes a lot of energy to move the water around that we do. To get the water to the treatment plant here to run this entire process is quite energy intensive. We're always looking for ways to offset that energy use or to cut back on our costs of that energy. So those solar panels were installed a few years back to do just that.
That's so great. What exactly is all of this?
We're standing at the beginning of the treatment process. The Graham Hill Water Treatment Plant is a conventional water treatment plant, meaning that it goes through the process of coagulation, flocculation, sedimentation, and filtration. We're also required by law to disinfect the water to provide both a physical and a chemical removal of pathogens.
Wow. What sort of pathogens are you trying to get rid of?
In the watershed, you'll naturally find things like Cryptosporidium, Giardia, viruses, bacteria that would otherwise make the public sick if we didn't take them out throughout this process.
Why do we have to treat water? Isn't it already clean?
Actually, no. The EPA passed in the mid-70s the Safe Drinking Water Act specifically to protect the customers of public water systems from natural contaminants in the water.
So this is just the first phase?
That's correct. Here at this treatment plant, the first stage is taste and odor control treatment. After that, we begin our disinfection process with sodium hypochlorite, followed by coagulation, flocculation, sedimentation. From there, the water goes all the way back to the filters for its final treatment.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Why don't we take a look at the coagulation stage?
Yeah, let's go.
So at this stage in the process, the disinfection has already begun, but this is really the beginning of the coagulation stage. In the raw, untreated water, there are many fine particles that won't settle out on their own because they're too light. The coagulation process is about adding a chemical that can clump them together and give them the mass that they need to settle out and fall to the bottom of the settled water basin later on in the process. The flock are tiny little particles that you can see under the surface of the water right now. Those mixers are going around to actually give the raw water particles a chance to collide with the primary coagulant that we use here, which is called aluminum sulfate. So we're standing now at the end of the sedimentation basin. So the flock that we've formed in the coagulation flocculation process has settled out at this point. The very fine particles that haven't settled out will have to go through those grates, which we call tube settlers. Those provide extra surface area for those fine particles to attach to before the water spills over those troughs and heads to the filters.
So you told me this was a filter, but how does it work exactly? Does it work like a membrane?
This is not membrane filtration. This is called dual media filtration. It's a gravity flow through the layers of filter media. The particles are caught in a layer of anthracite coal and silica sand. So here's a cutout of one of those gravity filters. The water's coming down this direction, filtering through the anthracite coal before it reaches the silica sand for more filtering. The gravel below is basically support gravel for the media. Every 2 hours, the operator will be back here taking samples from these taps and analyzing them to make sure that the treatment process is adequate. On top of that, we have a full staff of water quality professionals that provide state reporting, distribution system sampling and monitoring, and publish the consumer confidence report that's available for all of our customers to review.
I never realized how much work went into purifying our water. Thank you so much for showing me around, Dustin.
No problem. Thank you for coming by, Natalie.
Yeah.
Welcome to the City of Santa Cruz Water Quality Lab. Our state certified laboratory tests the drinking water and source water quality for the City of Santa Cruz customers. A few of the tests we run on the chemistry side of the drinking water, we have pH probe, conductivity probe. We measure turbidity or the clarity of the water in addition to hardness and alkalinity, and also color and odor. This is our chromatography instruments that we have here. We have a gas chromatograph to measure volatiles in the water, and we also have an ion chromatograph that measures the anion concentration in the water. And in this room we have an atomic absorption instrument that measures the heavy metals in the water, things such as lead and copper, iron and manganese. They all run on these two instruments. In addition to all the chemistry that we perform at the lab, we also have a set-aside area for microscopy, looking through the microscope at various things. One very important thing we have here is lake algae, that we have a filtration setup with sand, and the sample is prepared, the slide is made, and the species of blue-green bacteria and other type of algae are counted on this microscope. Thank you, Natalie, for coming today and visiting and touring our laboratory. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Hi, I'm Lynette. I'm looking for Doug.
Oh, I'm Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Welcome.
I'm here for the tour.
I heard. Shall I get my stuff and we'll show you around?
Great.
This way.
Thank you. Wow, this is awesome. How much water is stored here?
We currently have 6 million gallons stored in these 4 temporary tanks over here, with another 6 million gallons coming online this fall in our new tank. When that one comes online, we'll take these out of service and build another permanent tank like that one, both 6 million gallons each, for a total of 12 million gallons.
So, why do we need such reserves?
Our goal is to store up to a full day's supply of water in case of an upset to our treatment plant or our raw water supply. We also use the storage for fighting fires and smoothing out our daily production flow rate.
Why are these tanks in a residential neighborhood?
Originally constructed in the early 1920s, there were very few houses in this area. The neighborhood grew up around the reservoir site, which was chosen for its ideal elevation and location to serve the vast majority of the system by gravity.
How is this water transported to our houses?
Water leaves our city's treatment plant through a very large transmission pipeline like the trunk of a tree. Smaller transmission mains branch off the trunk main to feed large areas of town and our storage tanks. From our tanks, the water flows through a series of underground distribution pipelines in the streets, branching out like limbs on a tree to serve houses, businesses, and all the fire hydrants you see around town. When the water leaves the treatment plant, it flows by gravity down into town, building up pressure as high as 110 psi in the lowest areas. Some of our customers live in the mountains where we have to pump the water up to higher tanks above where they live.
All this water goes through pipes? How many miles is that?
The city maintains about 300 miles of pipeline, not including the little service pipelines that go to each house.
So, how do you keep the water clean and the pipes in good shape?
The water department has personnel on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, monitoring the system, adjusting the treatment process and flow rates, and mixing source supplies to match customers' demands. Our teams are ready at a moment's notice to repair water main breaks and pumps and other equipment. We have a fully staffed and accredited laboratory that routinely tests the quality of the water being produced and as delivered out in the system. Our rangers and water resources staff work to protect our source waters and promote healthy watershed environments where our water is collected. There's a little something for everyone to make something that everyone needs.
That was great. Thanks for the information.
Well, good luck on your project.
Hey, so thank you for coming out today. I really appreciate it. So what is the Dream Inn doing right now to help conserve water?
Thank you, Jeremiah, for coming in and asking about our conservation program. As the only hotel in Santa Cruz that's certified for a Green Business certification through the Monterey Bay Green Business Program, we're very pleased with the results we're having with our conservation efforts. So some of those efforts include low-flow 1.5-gallon toilets in all the 165 guest rooms in the hotel, low-flow shower heads, linen reuse programs where guests can put a card out on the bed or on the linens in the bathroom and request that their linens not be re-laundered every day. So you don't have 165 rooms getting their laundry done every day. So one of the unique things with our laundry system is our in-house system. We use high-density, low-water washing machines, so also helping to reduce our water consumption here at the Dream Inn. And our landscaping is drought-tolerant and used as a drip irrigation system. And in our restaurant, waters are done on request.
Thank you so much for talking to me. I learned a lot.
Well, thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you for coming in. Good luck on your project.
Excuse me?
Hi.
How can we help you?
Hi, my name's Riley. I'm from Santa Cruz High doing a project.
Well, hi, my name is Sarah.
And I'm Kyle, and we will answer any of your questions.
Well, how many people get their water from the city?
About 93,000 people use the water that we supply. 30,000 of those people live in Live Oak or parts of Capitola, while 60,000 live within Santa Cruz city limits. And about 2/3 of the water that's used is used in homes, so for residential uses.
Well, I've heard water conservation is important. Why?
Water conservation is very important. The water in Santa Cruz comes all from rain, so we're self-sustained. So when there's not very much rain, there's not a big water source. Each citizen must do their part to make sure that we have enough water for everyone and that it all can go around. Our system is not endless.
What can people do to protect our water resources?
Well, you can come down and see us so people in the city of Santa Cruz can take advantage of the services that the city provides through the Water Conservation Office, like you're here today.
Some of the services that the city offers are lawn removal rebates. We also have toilet rebates if you replace a toilet that's more efficient. We have washer rebates if you replace your washer that's more efficient. The city has rain barrels that collect water and you can water your garden with.
In addition to those rebates, we also have free gadgets down here at our office to help make your home more water efficient. For example, 2 of those include different aerators for your tap. That's a bathroom style aerator, and this one is for your kitchen sink. We also have a high efficiency shower head available to all of our customers. We have a spray head, a nozzle for your hose. And lastly, a fun gadget, which is our stopping in time shower timer. It's just under 5 minutes to really ensure that you're not using too much water.
Well, so what can I do to protect our water resources?
Well, one of the things that you can do is if you see a leak, report it.
Tell an adult if you see a leaking, dripping faucet or you hear a running toilet, it's best to get it taken care of.
There's other things you can do in the home, such as turning the water off when you're brushing your teeth.
Yeah, also making sure that you have shorter showers.
Having a full load of laundry before you start the laundry.
Included in that is making sure your dishwasher is full before you run it. All those little things really add up, so if everyone does their part, it helps.
Thanks for coming in, Riley.
Thanks, Riley.
No, thank you.
And that's our report.
Okay, everybody, you guys did a great job this week on your water projects. I think that we all have a better understanding now of how important water is in our daily lives and therefore why we should conserve it. You guys did a great job and I'm really proud of you.